No i nie przyciągając, lecimy z kolejną częścią. Tam, gdzie zakończyliśmy, musimy to w końcu zakończyć. Tak. Musimy. Ja to kasuję, bo muszę. Jeżeli coś nie wiedzieć, to kasuję. To. Zostawiam filmik. Musimy przejść to całe. Jeśli ten Max będzie miał problem z zaskoczeniem, oczywiście. Dlatego tam jest sporo tego i trudno będzie.
This was my second train ride of the night. The way it started didn't promise anything better than the last one. Freezing wind tearing at my face like sandpaper and razors, ice hard and slick under my hands and feet. And somewhere in the background the wail of sirens, the city howling after me. New York sped by in fast forward. Dark rooftop water towers and a dead forest of antennas and chimneys, all a blur. When the train he was riding slowed down, Gagniti made his move.
Bo ma mało żyć, wiesz. Nie dało się w tym bezprawom. Tak, to nie. Musiał szansę, kurwa, no przejść to cholerstwo jebane. Albo zakończę to inaczej.
When the train he was riding slowed down, Gagniti made his move.
Mogę tego pominąć. To dlatego dobrze to zrobię. Żeby to szybko przejść, to muszę to zrobić. Tylko weź to szybko, pospiesz. Lecimy. Lecimy szybko, szybko, szybko. My się spieszymy szybko, bo nie mamy czasu. byśmy zdążyli z czasem. Trzeba zdążyć, musimy zdążyć. Kurwa. Dobra. Skoro tak, chcecie grać? Dobra. Nie mam innego wyjścia. Musimy się spieszyć się musimy. Dać się szybko. Lecimy szybko. Lecimy szybko. Lecimy szybko. Nie ma czasu. Mało czasu nie zostało, dalej, musimy mieć czas na wyrobienie się. No wdas! Dawaj. Dało się, to chyba już. Musimy teraz się spieszyć. No ja mam mało żyć, nie poradzę. Niestety mało żyć i mało czasu.
Max Payne has nowhere left to go. We are very close to capturing him. You'll get a full statement then. Right now, I've got better things to do, ma'am.
That was Deputy Chief Jim Bravura from the NYPD with no further comment at this time.
Apart from his suspicious food habits, I figured Bravura to be one of the good guys. Fate had just dropped us on different sides in this. But when it came to capturing me, he was way out of his league. I had already ditched the cops a couple of rooftops back. For now.
I can hear him. Ready? Keep your guns pointed at the door.
Gun him down!
Good side. Lecimy szybko, bo nie mamy czasu. Ułożyć.
Open, goddammit! Payne! I'll kill you, you lousy freaking cop!
Gagniti ran out of steam in a dead-end alley with steam boiling out of the sewer grates like all the fires of hell were burning high beneath us. It was shakedown time. Where's Lupino?
Screw you!
Bad start, Vinny.
Ah! Police brutality!
I rate pretty high on that.
You can't just hurt me in cold blood?
Just keep telling yourself that. Listen good, Candyman. I'm not gonna be anybody's fall guy. I want to know where your boss is hiding. There was no glory in this. I hadn't asked for this crap. Trouble had come to me in big dark swarms. The good and the just were like gold dust in the city. I had no illusions. I was not one of them. I was no hero. Just me and the gun and the crook. My options had decreased to a singular course.
I'll tell you, just don't hurt me no more. Lupino's at Ragnarok, the nightclub. Book me. Take me in a home into the freaking jail, just don't hurt me.
Your rights will be ready at your funeral.
To idziemy po Jacka, Lupino. Na rok w tym klubie tam się udajemy.
Ragnarok was Lupino's private nightclub, a den of drugs built into an old theater. I knew what waited inside. V-head junkies ready to explode in random acts of senseless violence. And Lupino's goon squad, the worst stone-cold killers this side of hell. Ragnarok was as inviting as a headache, flickering and flashing to a machine gun beat. The belly of the nightclub was a gothic theme park that began with bondage games and led to the nasty stuff from there. As subtle with its dark message as a cop-killer bullet through the heart. Like father, like son. Just like Jack Lupino.
Daj mi tym, że zostawili, no. Nie, to przejdę. Niech ja to przejdę z takim życiem. Zobaczymy. Bez bullet time'a nie mam bullet time'a, cholera. Trzeba wycelować. Co tak długo?
As subtle with its dark message as a cop-killer bullet through the heart. Like father, like son. Just like Jack Lupino. Had never been a bestseller. Given the setting, I was surprised to find that somebody had been passing time reading. The paperback was entitled The Age of Murder and Storm. The blurb on the back mentioned Norse mythos and Ragnarok, the end of a Viking world with a terrible winter that covered the earth in ice, when vile crimes were rampant and all humanity lost. I could see how somebody impressionable might get it into their head that we were at the end of time. I was also beginning to see what the nightclub and its owner were all about.
Nie mam boli, ale... Ja, nie miałem bullet time'a, no. Jest takiego blisko, koleś. Ojeju. Dobrze szło. No osobno takie lata.
As subtle with its dark message as a cop killer bullet through the heart. Like father, like son. Just like Jack Lupino.
Ja też będę skupił. No właśnie.
Given the setting, I was surprised to find that somebody had been passing time reading. The paperback was entitled, The Age of Murder and Storm. The blurb on the back mentioned Norse mythos and Ragnarok, the end of a Viking world with a terrible winter that covered the earth in ice, when vile crimes were rampant and all humanity lost. I could see how somebody impressionable might get it into their head that we were at the end of time. I was also beginning to see what the nightclub and its owner were all about. It had never been a bestseller. Books on the occult.
Niewiele mają żyć, ale ten...
The room was stacked with light reading, such as Necronomicon, Witchcraft, and Paradise Lost. Old exotic titles like Malleus Maleficarum and Deum Rerum Reini Novum Portus. Books with pentagrams on their covers, all dealing with the occult and the infernal, lying between stacks of horror videos and a couple of Ouija boards. The only thing I could take seriously was the thought of Lupino taking it seriously. He had been spending a lot of time getting intimate with the guy downstairs. It had been piled on the table.
Jest bardzo mało żyć. Aż nie mam bullet time, się skończył. Musimy lecieć szybko.
What with Dino and all, I wouldn't say anything to his face. There he is!
No bez jaj.
What with Dino and all, I wouldn't say anything to his face. There he is!
Już nie mam życia.
What the?
Nie wiem, odrzucę, nie mam apteczki już. Spiesz. Cholera. Dobra, zabiję się. Nie mogę. Mam wyjść. Nie, wyjścia nie będzie.
What with Dino and all, I wouldn't say anything to his face. There he is!
Jaki? Nie. Ma to.
Whack the sucker! Hold it!
Ja. Cholera, ale niestety nie mam apteczek. Już. Kurwa. Nie ma żadnych pańki.
What with Dino and all, I wouldn't say anything to his face. There he is!
Strzela i nie ginie. Kurwy pierdolony, no.
Hold it!
Trochę będziecie mieli tam oglądania tego. Ale cóż, może nikogo się nie będzie nudzić na nim. Jestem apteczki, nie? Jestem ranny. Pospieszyć.
What the hell?
Za mało czasu.
The backstage area led to Lupino's inner sanctum. The hot air inside was like an invisible wall, thick with incense and something else, a sickly sweet smell that made you gag. This was the rotten core of the Big Apple. Lupino lurked somewhere ahead, like a spider at the center of his web, waiting. The vapors in the air started to make my head swim. Torn pieces of a letter. Punchinello had threatened Lupino in writing. The note had been torn to pieces, bloody fingerprints all over them.
Don't want you to think that one of my boys is not playing with a full deck. Shape up, Jack. We are running a business here. I'd hate to send the trio to strong-arm you.
The trio were the Don's notorious henchmen. It was obvious that Lupino hadn't been intimidated by the threat. Scattered on the sofa, Lupino's notes covered the table. Jack Lupino was crazy, all right. The table was scattered with notes of demented arcane nonsense written in rusty blood, a mishmash list of demons, devils, and dark gods evoked.
BL's
Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Cthulhu, Lilith, Hela, blood given to you all.
He was after that old Faustian deal, your soul for power and fortune, just signing the dotted line with your blood. Lupino's notebook lay on the pedestal. Jack Lupino was crazy, all right.
Mythic wolves, let loose to devour the sun and the moon. Lupino is the wolf. I'm Mr. Beast, the big bad Fenris wolf. I'm the end of the world man, wearing the flesh of fallen angels.
After Y2K, the end of the world had become a cliche. But who was I to talk? A brooding underdog avenger alone against an empire of evil, out to right a grave injustice. Everything was subjective. There were only personal apocalypses. Nothing is a cliche when it's happening to you.
The flesh of fallen angels! Come to me all! Astaroth, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Satan, Cthulhu, Lilith, Hela! Blood to you all! Living under the skin of reality. I've seen it. The corruption of flesh. I'm the wolf, yeah! I am the wolf! It's close. It's coming. You have come. A witness to the end of time. It's now! I will rise to her side! I don't need the words! I'm beyond the words!
Kurwa.
This was the rotten core of the Big Apple. Lupino lurked somewhere ahead, like a spider at the center of his web, waiting. The vapors in the air started to make my head swim.
The flesh of fallen angels! Come to me all! Astaroth, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Satan, Cthulhu, Lilith, Hela! Blood to you all! Secret. Living under the skin of reality. I've seen it. The corruption of flesh. I'm the wolf, yeah! I am the wolf! It's close. It's coming. You have come. A witness to the end of time. It's now! I will rise to her side! I don't know the words! I'm beyond the words!
known there'd have to be a catch in it somewhere, and this one was the Empire State Building of catches. Lupino was pumped up and dying to go 15 rounds with a mutant alligator. And then he started this spooky monkey talk, straight from a bad dream. Mine.
I have tasted the flesh of fallen angels. I've tasted the devil's green blood. It runs in my veins. I've seen beyond a world of skin, the architecture of blood and bow and arrow. Death is coming! She is coming, and hell follows with her. This is the twilight winter. I am ready to be her son. Her time is now, and all who stand in her way must die! Die! You'll die! You'll die! Now! Oh! Die!
Wow! Bez taktyki tutaj. No jak? Nie mam czasu czekać.
This was the rotten core of the Big Apple. Lupino lurked somewhere ahead, like a spider at the center of his web, waiting. The vapors in the air started to make my head swim.
Fajnie.
The flesh of fallen angels! Come to me all! Astaroth, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Baphomet, Lucifer, Loki, Satan, Cthulhu, Lilith, blood to you all! Secret. The skin of reality. I've seen it. The corruption of flesh. I'm the wolf, yeah! I am the wolf! It's close. It's coming. You have come. It's to the end of time. Yo! It's now! I will rise to her side! Oh, I don't need the words! I'm beyond the words! Bez sensu. Chciałem to kurwa aktualnie, bo nie mam czasu.
Yo!
Dawaj go tutaj. Nie idzie tam, czy nie? Jeszcze? Drugi raz tego oglądać nie będę.
Die! You'll die! You'll die! Now! Oh! Die!
finally went down, I wanted to make real sure he'd stay that way. V was a bad monster. Turned them into friggin' zombie demons from outer space.
I think he's dead already.
Huh? And that's when it happened.
But dead or not, you've got the wrong guy.
In stepped this knockout femme fatale holding a gun to my face. I returned the favor. Lisa Punchinello. Lisa Punchinello was the Don's wife.
Mona Sachs. Lisa's evil twin.
Your safety's off, evil twin. You might hurt someone with that gun of yours.
Lisa's the damsel in distress. I'm the professional. I'd blow you away without batting an eye.
Sure, and you can check out my credentials splattered all over this joint.
Jack couldn't have framed you. Not the state he was in. We're after the same slime bag. Angelo Punchinello's the one who murdered your friend and framed you with it.
You know this for a fact.
I've got my sources.
I don't have a clue these days. I just shoot them as they come. Who put a contract on the Archfiend?
This one's mine. I hate the guts of that sadistic wife-beater. Why not pool our bullets for this one?
I thought you'd never ask. My finger was starting to twitch.
How do you like your whiskey?
I'm easy, as long as you don't try to slip me a Mickey.
You're a real angel, Max.
It was good stuff. Tasted sweet as honey going down.
Nothing personal. Can't risk you going berserk and getting Lisa killed.
The nightmare was always the same. Violent shapes moving in darkness, old and ugly. The killer's mad laughter was a riddle filled with wicked innuendo. Somewhere, the baby was crying.
5 minut, no. Nie mam aż 5 minut czasu. Ciekawe, już nie będę zginę? No właśnie, dziwne. Nie da mi aż 5 minut czasu. Trochę więcej mi dało. Ja tak chodzę szybkim sposobem, bo ja nie znam się na pamięć. Kurde, jakby coś skoczył, to co ten...
Should have known it when we found you snoring next to Lupino's corpse. A comedian, huh?
Michelle looked at me from the photo.
Ja mam plan, jak to przejść, żeby zaoszczędzić jeszcze więcej czasu.
The Payne family. Happiness captured in a Polaroid moment. I had thought it would last forever. Till death do us part. I didn't want to think about it. As long as I didn't, it could never happen. But I had broken my own rule. The thought had already slipped in. Fear was rusty needles poking at my brain. Cold and scaly, it slithered down my chest. The pictures were filled with good old times.
Cartoons. Captain Baseball Bat was my favorite.
Nie wątpię w korniku, jak szybko przejść, nie? To nie? Cholera, musimy mocno poskoczyć. To też, że ma czas. Na korniku, no nie? Jak przejść ten sam. Szybko. Nie idąc śladami, nie? jak się oglądał, to może zobaczyć poradnik. Jest to pokazane. Mówię, no czas musimy się spieszyć.
Slice 'em, dice 'em, shoot 'em full of holes, blow 'em to bits, vaporize 'em, disintegrate 'em. No matter what you do, they'll still be back, good as new.
Michelle's diary lay on the table.
Tam były jeszcze notatki, żeby się
No, please, Max! Why? I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
To mam notatkę jeszcze. Zapomniałem ją zobaczyć, ale dobrze pójdę.
Murderer! You killed her!
Nothing like that ever happens in the real world.
Chapter pierwszy, part 2. Tepas wybal.
I woke up in a bad dream. My head felt 2 sizes too small for my brain.
Max Payne. I envy your name.
And the killer was smiling.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Frankie the Bat Niagara.
Niagara, as in you cry a lot? He had a baseball bat and I was tied to a chair. Pissing him off was the smart thing to do.
Nothing wrong with a little laugh now and then. Take me, for example. I love to watch cartoons. Cartoon violence is a fascinating thing. Let's take a break. I need to take a leak and maybe grab a cold one at the bar. Don't worry. I'll be back to finish this off. And then, it's checkout time.
You play, you pay, you bastard. He swaggered out, and the door clanged shut behind him, locks clicking into place. Everyone makes mistakes. Mine hadn't been to crack jokes about the goon with the bat. He'd have cracked my skull regardless. It hadn't even been to trust a girl with a gun. I had blindly gone after the first bad guy on my hit list when I should have been aiming further up the ladder, at the head of the Punchinello family. I couldn't bring myself to be pissed at Mona. Guess I had a soft spot for her pretty face. But when somebody decides to play baseball with your head, you tend to get sore. They had dragged me back to the basement of Lupino's hotel. I was beaten, bruised, and blue. I felt like the chair I had broken to get free.
Nie mogę znaleźć go, mam tylko minutę.
All I had was Niagara's bat, sticky with my own blood.
Pauza. Nie chcę mi się cały czas tego czatu. Ahoj.
Without a gun, I'd be no match for Frankie's men. I'd have to play hide and seek with them.
It's Frankie's turf. He'll take care of it.
A czemu walnąć z baseballa? Cholera, gdybym nie chybił, to bym kurwa wyjebnął mu, bo z baseballa by dostał. Chciałem jedno z baseballa, kurwa. No, nie udało się.
All I had was Niagara's bat, sticky with my own blood. Without a gun, I'd be no match for Frankie's men. I'd have to play hide and seek with them.
It's Frankie's turf. We'll take care of it. What the?
For a murder scene. Frankie had left his calling card, a Captain Baseball bat boy strip, next to a sewer passage filled with bodies.
You'd better not mess with Captain Baseball Bat Boy. Even my arch enemy, Bicycle Helmet Girl, swoons at the sight of me. Aha!
There were enough corpses to put a mass murderer to shame.
To idziemy, bo mamy wiele czasu. To są dwie berety. Apteczki. Mamy mało bardzo czasu, mało, musimy się straszczać. Nic nie ma, idziemy dalej. Mam bardzo mało czasu. Musimy szybko. Niestety nikogo tu nie ma, co ja nic nie zrobię. Czas mi leci. To szybko.
Things were fast going from bad. The men in blue had come and gone. They had decorated the place with chalk outlines and tied it together with yellow tape. The cops who had stayed behind were dead. Frankie, his boys, and I had the place all for ourselves.
Just forget about it. Just forget about it. Hey, just forget about it. That crazy witch, you should have heard her. She was a real scream when the boys caught her trying to cap the Don. Oh, that's friggin' bad. To the trio? That's even worse than what Frankie's doing to that poor bastard downstairs. She's gonna take a long time to die.
The mobster muscle on the phone was talking about Mona. Punchinello's trio were nothing but bad news. More evidence that Punchinello didn't like me much.
The fact remains that all the victims so far identified in the Ragnarok shooting have been known criminals, many of whom had large doses of V in their blood. Reliable sources say that Max Payne was also among those killed, although no body has been recovered at this time.
Reliable sources. That meant somebody thought the Mafia had me, didn't want the cops snooping around anymore. The body would be delivered to them barely recognizable. Case closed. Don Punchinello had the power to be that reliable source, which was no news. But his news was old news. Framing me hadn't been enough. Don Punchinello had put a hit on me. He wanted me dead, and it had been important enough for him to give written instructions to Frankie about it.
Max Payne should die like a dog for the trouble he's caused. Frankie, I know I can trust you to give this matter the dedication it needs.
The hotel bar was fast developing quite a history. True to his words, Frankie was there, having a beer.
Jesus Christ. How the hell did you get loose?
Got bored waiting. Thought, what the hell, we could just as well finish this here.
Fine by me. This works out just as well.
No, panie. Coś ty walasz. To bez pisania, nie?
Just forget about it. Just forget about it. Hey, just forget about it.
More evidence.
The fact...
Punchinello didn't like me much.
Będę musiał rzucić jakieś granaty tam czy coś.
The hotel.
Fine by me. This works out just as well.
Kurwa, no kurwa, dobra. To chyba tutaj zakończę sobie ten moment. Ja oczywiście tutaj zakończę ten moment. Bicie.
The men in blue had come and gone. They had decorated the place with chalk outlines and tied it together with yellow tape.
Więc skończymy ten moment. Na
The cops who had stayed behind were dead. Frankie, his boys, and I had...
Więc my sobie tutaj kończymy, nie? To jest na część trzecią. Na raz.